Well, the weekend's a done deal, and we're back at it for another week, short week anyway, of local television, local entertainment, local information, and just plain local, because I'm a little local. Hey, it's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It is Monday, the 25th day of November, 2019. I'm Dan Kuntz, your host. We're going to get your week going here with lots of important information. The big story this week for a lot of people, being that it's Thanksgiving week, is going to be the travel conditions and the weather conditions. And they are both going to deteriorate. Not a lot happening today and tomorrow, but boy, starting Tuesday night and lasting right into Thanksgiving, things are going to be very interesting. We're looking at a little bit of snow here on the valley floor, considerable snow in the mountain passes. We're talking quite a bit of wind, and then after that, very cold temperatures. And I don't know what you did over the weekend if you were paying attention to the weather, but it was a very odd weekend. On Saturday, our afternoon high was 33 degrees. Yesterday's afternoon high was 53 degrees. We had a 20-degree difference in the afternoon high between Saturday and Sunday. That was odd stuff. We got a lot of weather to talk about because some people just talk about the weather, but here at the NCW Life channel, we really talk about the weather. Forecast details are coming up. We got the news headlines. We got sports. We'll wrap up the weekend that was in the world of prep sports. Cascade Kodiak girls soccer team. That close to getting a state title. We'll talk about that. Also, we'll preview the Wenatchee Wild. They have a Monday game. They're at home tonight. The Prince George Spruce Kings are in town at the Town Trader Center. They'll drop the puck at 6:05. We visited with our friends Ecker and David Rayfield last week to tape a little conversation. You'll see that in the back half of the hour. Plus, we got Mike McNally's opinions, some celebrity birthdays, today in history, and the obscure holiday. I think we can set the table. Let's go around the valley with our Valley View cameras, courtesy of Localtel's Sky-Fi high-speed wireless. Sun is not there yet, but there is enough residual light to make the cameras work pretty good. Sunrise doesn't come up till 7:19 this morning. Sunset 4:16. We've gotten below that 9-hour mark. We now have 8 hours and 57 minutes of daylight for the Wenatchee Valley today. Beautiful view from the cross camera located adjacent to the cross at the very tip of Wenatchee Heights as people are getting up and getting going. Like I said, it's going to be kind of an interesting week. We do have Thanksgiving. We won't be doing a show on Thanksgiving where the whole staff gets Thursday off, but we'll back at it on Friday. So we won't have any news. All of our regular programming that we do on a regular Thursday going to be moved around a little bit. Not going to have a newscast. I'm not going to do Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, some stuff like that. We'll be back at it though on Friday, full of turkey and goodwill, we hope. Camera number 2. Where are we off to, Megan? Megan gets to decide. I have to guess. Well, that's a no-brainer. That's Apple-Annie's. Apple-Annie's antique. We call it the Apple-Annie's camera because that's in the bluff, high above Apple-Annie's Antique Mall, overlooking the entire valley and community of Cashmere, with the Cascade foothills way off in the distance. Mount Cashmere, plain as can be. Beautiful view there of our friends in Cashmere. We are, by the way, the number 3 rated local morning show on television in the greater Cashmere area. We carry that mark with pride. Camera number 3. Oh, good one, Megan. That's Omi Gardens, I believe. Come on, son. Get up there, son. You can get her going. The Omi Gardens camera is pretty much 180 degrees opposite of the cross camera. It's about at the same elevation, perhaps a little bit lower in elevation. It points right back in the opposite direction that the cross camera looks at. So you can see the East Wenatchee area. Kind of dark right now. Not a lot of traffic on the Otobashian Bridge. A lot of people have Monday off. A lot of people are taking some extended time off. Very busy travel day today. It's going to be extremely busy traveling westbound to eastbound on I-90 on Wednesday. We'll have a news story on that before this week is over. Good morning to our friends in the Wenatchee Valley looking the other direction. And finally, camera 4. Oh, great shot. That is zoomed in tight. I'm going to say that's Leavenworth. From the Tumwater Canyon or from Black Mountain? From the Tumwater Canyon. Good stuff, Megan. Wowee. I could just look at that all day. Of course, this is the Bavarian village of Leavenworth is firing up and getting ready for lots and lots of people to come and watch the tree lighting ceremony. Leavenworth, you could get a little bit of snow. It's possible, by the way. Tuesday night, Wednesday into Wednesday night. Nobody's going to get a big bunch of snow except the Cascades. In fact, as we speak, traction tires are required right now on Stevens Pass, and I believe they're required on I-90. I'll check that real quickly when we get to the weather forecast. So pretty spectacular views from around our beautiful area that we call home, the Wenatchee Valley, U.S. of A. 5 minutes after the hour from the National Weather Service. Here we go. Lots to talk about here. Again, not a lot happening today and not a lot happening Tuesday. There's the Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling van zooming into your shot. Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. They give your home a hug. But boy, does the weather get dramatic come Tuesday night. We have numerous slides to show you. First of all, how windy is it going to be on Wednesday and what direction is it going to come from? Very windy and from the north, as you can see. What's going to happen here is there's a low pressure, a very deep low pressure system. We're going to show you this is going to bring very gusty northerly winds, and it's also going to usher in some cold air. So now these are wind gusts, not sustained winds. Take a look at how things are going to change. This is at 4 a.m. tomorrow morning, which, by the way, is the time I get up. You can see high pressure up in the British Columbia area. And you see that red little L there that's spinning around? That red little L is going to become a big L in just 12 hours. So from 4 a.m. Tuesday to 4 p.m. Tuesday, look at the difference as this low pressure ridge moves in. See that? It gets bigger, it gets stronger. It's going to come in right in the Oregon-California border. And as it spins around, it's going to start bringing all those winds our way. So it's going to be, that's the big change on Tuesday, by Tuesday afternoon anyway. By the time we get to 4 a.m. Wednesday morning, very windy. Yeah, and some snow is in the forecast. And look at the gradients. You can see how tight those gradients are. That means strong winds, gusty winds. We'll have sometimes will be very little wind at all, and then sometimes the winds will be gusting quite strong at times. Yeah, Tuesday night all the way into Wednesday night is going to be very interesting indeed. And then the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, as you can see, the National Weather Service says we're going to be below normal. And I mean, it's going to get pretty darn cold by the back half of the week and almost all of next week. Is what's going to happen. That cold air, that cold Canadian air that arrives on Tuesday night is going to become trapped at the lower elevations as a high pressure ridge develops. It's going to be cold, but it's going to be dry. What that graph does not show you is precipitation. Even though we are expecting colder than normal temperatures for the long-term outlook, we're not really expecting a great deal of precipitation. And when we talk cold temperatures and precipitation, we normally talk snow. And we are going to get a little bit of snow. Let's go back to the forecast one more time, take it through you day by day. So pretty quiet today. Snow level is going to be at 1,900 feet. Partly sunny, high of about 42. We're at 36 right now. Partly cloudy tonight, 27 for the overnight low. Again, Tuesday is when things start happening. We showed you that graph. Big difference in that 12-hour window from 4 a.m. Tuesday morning to 4 p.m. Tuesday afternoon. The clouds will start coming in. By Tuesday night, we could get a little bit of snow in the Wenatchee Valley. Just a little skiffle, nothing really crazy. There's about a 50% chance of snow and also wind gusts to go along with it on Tuesday night. Wednesday, chance of snow at about 40%, less than half an inch. Not a big snowstorm. Again, there's just not a lot of moisture associated with this system that's coming in. It's also going to be breezy on Wednesday, so we get it all. Chance of snow, lots of wind, and a high of only 35 degrees, 34, 32, 32 on Wednesday. Wednesday night, chance of snow. It's going to be blustery. A half an inch possible Wednesday night. Big travel day. Overnight low of 20 for Thanksgiving Day. Gobble, 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 gobble. Lots of clouds, pretty quiet, high near 34, and then it gets cold. Again, as I mentioned before, that cold Canadian air that arrives on Tuesday night is going to become trapped at the lower elevations because a high pressure ridge is going to develop and keep the cold air trapped on the valley floor. Heads up, Mission Ridge, you could get about 3 to 5 inches of snow during this snow system on Tuesday through Wednesday. But again, in the Wenatchee Valley, we're looking at light snow after all the things are said and done between the chance of snow Tuesday night, Wednesday, and Wednesday night, maybe an inch, and with some afternoon highs getting above freezing, it might not stick around very long. So things are going to be quiet for the next couple of days, but starting Tuesday night, things get interesting. Real quickly on the passes, traction tires are advised in I-90. It's snowing. You got snow and slush on the roadway. They are required on Stevens Pass. It's snowing pretty good up there. The snow is starting to taper down a little bit. The plows are getting the job done, but they still have a traction tire requirement on Stevens Pass and on Blue Pass. No advisories, no restrictions, nothing coming down out of the sky on US 97. All right, that's your pass report. That's your weather forecast. 10 minutes after the hour, we're going to take a break and come back with your Monday morning headlines. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, and we're live this morning from Studio 5 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Live channel.
My name's Tashina, and I live in Chelan. I've been a CVCH patient for several years. The thing that I love about CVCH the most is like everybody knows everybody. That's just a really kind of special thing, is kind of takes that phobia of being in the clinic away. I would just tell all the CVCH staff that they're doing great, and thank you for making us feel comfortable, and you guys are always there for us, and the whole staff checks in on us, and we really appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Jim Heinlein, independent agent and owner at Springwater Insurance Group here in North Central Washington. And one of the things we enjoy doing is teaching people how to find the right Part D drug plan. And you know, if you went into a shoe shop and they just sat you down and handed you a pair of shoes, that'd be confusing. You'd want them to measure. Well, we take a measurement at Springwater Insurance Group. We ask you 4 questions. What's the name, the dose, the frequency, and the pharmacy for your medications? This allows us to measure and get the right fit for 2020. Give us a call at Springwater Insurance Group for the right fit for your drug plan at 888-2600.
36 minutes after the hour, we have partly cloudy skies and 36 degrees. Again, kind of quiet for the next couple of days. Then come Tuesday night, things get very interesting. We're going to have a chance of snow and windy conditions Tuesday night, all day Wednesday, and into Wednesday night. A pretty calm Thanksgiving, and then lots of sunshine and very cold temperatures coming our way towards the first weekend of December, which is this weekend. Hard to believe. Here's what's making headlines. The Okanagan County suspect, long connected with a body found in a burning car last summer, is now formally accused of murder. Sheriff's deputies are seeking charges against Lance Robert Bowers, who's been in jail since June, in the killing of his wife, Angela M. Bowers. It was her body firefighters discovered in the trunk of the burning car at the Aenis General Store June 3rd near Tonasket. Deputies arrested Lance Bowers a few hours later after shooting and wounding him during the apprehension. Angela Bowers' body was not identified until DNA testing was completed. That was in September. Lance Bowers remains jailed on a $1.5 million bond. He'll be arraigned December 9th on likely charges of first-degree murder and arson. Well, it turns out because of a conflict between state laws and City of Wenatchee ordinances, a former Wenatchee High School student cannot be prosecuted by the city for cyberstalking. Our very own Jefferson Robbins.
Back in January, the City of Wenatchee pressed charges against Everett Scott Anderson, who was then 18 years old, accusing him of bullying fellow Wenatchee High School students through Twitter and Snapchat. Police and city attorneys said Anderson used the online accounts in 2018 to target and ridicule other students. One Twitter post included a manipulated video alleging 2 students had committed sexual misconduct. Another post joked about a Wenatchee teen who had recently died by suicide. The charge of cyberstalking is a gross misdemeanor, but District Court Judge Kyle Mott dismissed the case. And on Wednesday, Superior Court Judge Leslie Allen turned down an appeal brought by the city. Both judges said because the City of Wenatchee never adopted the state's law on cyberstalking into its own ordinances, it has no jurisdiction to prosecute. That doesn't mean the case is at an end, though. If the Chelan County prosecuting attorney chooses, Anderson could still be charged with the state of Washington named as a plaintiff. Jefferson Robbins, NCW Life.
Thank you very much for that report, Jefferson. An Everett man who admitted setting off a firework that caused a wildfire near Manson. Now he says he wants a trial. 18-year-old Michael Petrovich Popov had been set to plead guilty to a reduced charge of reckless burning. That was supposed to happen on Wednesday, but instead he told a Chelan County judge he'll take the case to trial come January. The charge is felony first-degree arson. Popov admitted to the sheriff's deputies that he used an explosive mortar to blow up a mailbox back on July 6th on Upper Joe Creek Road. Well, that explosion led to a 14-acre brush fire. Aside from the criminal charge, prosecutors want Popov to pay. They want him to pay more than $37,000 to reimburse the costs of fighting that fire. Well, Matt Cabin, who retired as the executive director of the Numerica Performing Arts Center earlier this year, honored last week in Olympia with the Governor's Arts Award for his arts advocacy. Cabin nominated for the award by 12th District Senator Brad Hawkins. Among Cadman's work that was cited was the Every Kid at the PAC program, which launched in 2015 and has brought more than 12,000 students to the PAC for programs. In addition to Hawkins, you see Rufus Woods, the former publisher of the Wenatchee World, on hand to help honor Matt Cadman. Congratulations to Matt. Local voters turned out strong for the most recent election. The turnout in some North Central Washington counties approaching 50%. Our very own Jefferson Robbins spoke to Chelan County Auditor Skip Moore to find out why.
In the November 6th election, Chelan County saw its strongest off-year turnout since 2013. 49% of registered voters got their ballot in to Auditor Skip Moore's office, a 10% increase over the 2017 elections.
Almost, I had hoped for 50. I always hope for 100. However, we've never quite got there yet. But I was expecting around 50, and we got right up at it.
The trend was similar all around north central Washington. 46% turnout in Douglas County, 41.5% in Grant County, 47% in Okanogan. Everywhere, those numbers showed improvements of 5% to almost 15% over turnout 2 years ago. 3 of the 4 counties did better than the statewide turnout average of 45%.
Our participation compared to the statewide number seems to always been a little bit higher. If you look at some of the smaller counties, you can see as your county gets smaller, it's easier and you have higher return rates. You look at Garfield or some of those counties, quite often you see upwards in 60 sometimes.
The last time voter turnout was this high locally in a non-federal election was 6 years ago. But voter enrollment could always be better. Moore estimates about 10,000 people in Chelan County alone could vote, but aren't registered.
You know, I mail out 46,000 ballots. I'd like to get 46,000 ballots back. That'd be wonderful. And everybody's got to remember, the people that participate are determining everyone else's life. So that's the important part. If you're not participating in the election, somebody else is making the decision for you. That's my concern.
Jefferson Robbins, NCW Life.
Thank you, Jefferson. Finally, on this Monday morning, it was standing room only. It was the last open mic night last Thursday night at Radar Station downtown. Of course, the local entertainment venue announcing it's going to be closing their doors later on this week. Thursday night's events featured local comedians, poetry, and musicians, including local favorite Tom Lenny. Not bad. 18 minutes after the hour on this Monday. That's what's making the headlines. Of course, the news crew will be back at it, gathering and disseminating news. And at 5 o'clock tonight, you can check out what happened. And with the preview, here's the anchor, Grant Olson.
Good Monday morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, it's Thanksgiving week, and lots of you will be traveling. I'll let you know how the weather forecast shapes up, and Eric Granstrom will have all the area's weekend sports and scores. That, all of the day's news, and much more coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News at 5, 6, and 10. Hope to see you then. Dan?
Thank you very much, Grant. Don't forget the news at 5, 6, and 10, as Grant mentioned. And, of course, we'll be taking Thursday off. But we'll be back at it on Friday. We'll be working Friday. We just won't be working real hard. We'd love to hear from you, our viewers, or make it any number of ways for you to do it. You can email us, news@ncwlife.com, news@ncwlife.com. That's a great way to do it. You can pick up the telephone and give us a call at the number that you see at the bottom of your screen. If you're a Facebooker, go to our Facebook page. Like us, please. That would be cool. And you can also use the Facebook Messenger app there on your smartphone or just on your computer, or you can go to our website, ncwlife.com, and there's a Contact Us icon in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. We'd love to hear from you, our viewers, and as it turns out, we hear from you, our viewers. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about Seattle Seahawks, Wenatchee Wild, high school sports, college football, and a whole bunch more sports is 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live from Studio 5 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
You don't have to be a member to enjoy the view and dine-in style at Highlander Bar and Grill in East Wenatchee. Open 7 days a week, Highlander Grill offers breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Dine in or take it to go, our friendly staff is here to serve you. Reservations recommended for Friday night's prime rib dinner. Call for live music dates. Hi, I'm Shalane, site coordinator for Highlander Grill. Give me a call to schedule your event today.
Hi there. It's Les Schwab Tires. Well, more like Les Schwab alignment and brakes and shocks and wheels and tires. Now, some tire places don't offer all that. They only sell tires. And we're not sure how they sleep at night, because all those services affect things like steering and stopping. That's why we offer more than tires to help keep you safe. Stop by or book an appointment at leschwab.com. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
21 minutes after the hour on this Monday. Let's talk sports. A win is a win is a win, and a road win in the NFL is always good, even though yesterday's victory was kind of ugly for the Seahawks, but they won. They beat the Eagles 17-9. They're now 9-2 on the football season. Russell Wilson sacked 6 times, had an interception to go with his 33-yard touchdown pass to Malik Turner. Defense stepped up once again for the Hawks. They sacked Carson Wentz 3 times. They intercepted him twice, forced 3 fumbles. Coach Pete Carroll, as you might surmise, was quite pleased to come out of Philadelphia with a victory.
The challenge of flying across the country and playing in the morning, we're there. We understand how to do it, and I'm really fired up about that. That's such a good accomplishment, and these guys know how to get it done. So I like this team that we just played. Man, they can do all kinds of stuff. They're a well-balanced football team, and we held them down. I think it's really worth noting how the defense played today. I thought they played great all day long. Yeah, obviously, we took the ball away from them a ton of times. 5 times, I think, today. We had 4 sacks. The pressure was there again like last week. We all wondered, are we going to have pressure this week? And we didn't have J.D. out there playing. Just thrilled for the guys up front that kept the heat coming and made it a hard day for their quarterback.
Next up for the Seahawks, they will be hosting Minnesota in Monday Night Football 1 week from tonight. Let's talk Wenatchee Wild. They won 1, lost 1 in the BCHL over the weekend. On Friday, Wenatchee got goals from Matt Dorsey, Harrison Scott, Tyler Young, Tanner Main, and Jack Bayless, and they went on to beat West Kelowna 5-1. Saturday, and different story. The Wild got out to a 3-1 lead heading into the third period. That's when Merritt caught fire. They scored 5 goals to win 6-4. We got highlights. Art Checker had the call of the Wenatchee Wild Hockey Network, the video courtesy of Hockey TV.
Crisp pass from Dorsey to Adams. He's got it on the backhand. Turns, fires it up top. Bavaro, wrister pad save, rebound, shot, score! Brian Adams collected the rebound. Drew Bavaro took the shot from the point. Back behind, Adams angles it off the end wall. Cleared but not out. Held in Bavaro, his shot, and he scores! That one may have been tipped in front. It was definitely tipped in front, but I don't know if it was tipped by a Wild player or if it was by a Centennial, but Bavaro leading the drive-by and on the backboards, taken by Wolders. His centering feed shot and a score! Quinn Emerson. The shot came from the left side below the circle. Beautiful work by Ethan Wolders as he fought for the puck behind the net, turned it back along, and Quinn Emerson drove it home from the left side. Left wing corner. Galloway had it, lost it. There's a shot by Emerson, and he scores. Quinn Emerson with his second of the night. Stole it away from the top of the left circle and flings it home. Backhanded down low, and Wolders tries to get to it, and that's going to do it. Well, the Merritt Centennials erupt in the third period. And they steal the game away from the Wild. The Wild were pretty well in control of it through 2 periods. But as the final horn sounds here tonight, it's the Centennials that will skate off with the victory.
So the Wild are home tonight, yet it's a Monday night game at the Town Toyota Center. The Prince George Spruce Kings. It's a 6:05 start, and we'll talk Wild hockey with Art Checker and David Rayfield in the second half of this program. The Cascade Kodiaks, they came so close to the State 1A Soccer Championship on Saturday. They beat Lakeside out of 9 Mile Falls Friday in the semifinal 1-0. Then they took on Seattle Academy in the championship. After 80 minutes, the game remained knotted at 0-0. In overtime, the Cardinals got past the defense, scoring the game winner. It was the second place finish for Cascade in the last 3 years. It took 4th last year, 2nd in 2017. By the way, Seattle Academy wins its 16th Girls State Soccer Championship. The Antioch Tigers are in the semifinals of the state 1B football tournament. They took care of Lyle Wishram on Saturday in Quincy. The final is 48-12. Antioch will take on Odessa in Saturday's semifinal. It'll be at Lions Field and Moses Lake. They'll kick off at noon. Elmira Cooley Hardline back in the semifinals after an 80-30 win over Lummi in the dense fog Saturday at Quincy. The Warriors are trying to return to the state championship. They'll take on Nassau Saturday in Tumwater at 1 o'clock. As far as OMAC is concerned, their run at the state 1A football title ended rather abruptly Saturday down in Royal, as you see there. The Knights dismantling the Pioneers 62-6. Royal will take on Connell in Saturday's semifinal at 3 o'clock. Well, Wenatchee State at the state 4A volleyball tournament was very brief. On Friday, after falling in their opening match against Curtis, 3-0, the Panthers dropped 3 straight to Camas. Papermakers winning 25-21, 27-25, and 25-14. By the way, the fellow Big Nine entrant and defending state champion West Valley, they also lost twice on Friday and were put out. By the way, Tahoma won the state 4A girls volleyball championship. A crazy night in Pullman on Saturday night. I know, I watched. Max Borgi scoring a touchdown from 2 yards out with 2 seconds remaining to lift the Cougars past Oregon State 54-53. Coach Mike Leach put it perfectly following the ball game, saying, quote, "We tried every way we could to lose this game, and we finally won it," end quote. Washington State squandered an 11-point lead in the fourth quarter, trailed the Beavers at one point by 11. Cougars quarterback Anthony Gordon broke the Pac-12 single-season touchdown mark with his 44th and eventually his 45th of the year. He also surpassed Gardner Minshew with the single-season passing yards record in the Pac-12. He now has thrown for 4,920 yards. The win means the Cougars are bowl eligible for the 5th consecutive season. For the Huskies, meantime, they limp into Friday's Apple Cup against the Cougars. Lost to Colorado Saturday night, 20-14. Jacob Eason, another rough outing at quarterback. He had a touchdown, but he also had an interception. He was sacked 5 times. His quarterback rating was 39.9. But it's Apple Cup week. Huskies will host Washington State, Husky Stadium, Seattle, 1 o'clock on Friday afternoon. And finally, Eastern Washington raced out to a 45-25 lead over Portland State Saturday, held on for the victory. Eric Barrier throwing for 260 yards, 3 touchdowns. Antone Custer ran for 218 yards and 2 TDs. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Monday, 28 minutes after the hour. It's time for the Obscura holiday today. Are you unimpressed with the world around you? Today's your day. Today's Blasé Day. Blasé Day. Yeah, that's a French word. It means, It's a French word for Uriah. That's my coworker, Uriah. He sits next to me. We love the guy. Life just seems to just flow right through Uriah. Apathetic, bored, indifferent, jaded, lukewarm, mellow, mundane, offhand, unconcerned, uninterested. Happy Blasé Day. Whatever. Blasé, you gotta admit, if you're gonna have a Blasé Day, which is always held on November 25th, the fact that it falls on a Monday is like perfect, isn't it? You don't want Blasé Day to be like Friday. That would be no good. So happy day today. 29 minutes after the hour. Much more serious note. Today in history, 3 events, they all happen on the same day. And they're all intertwined. Funerals. JFK, J.D. Tippit, Lee Harvey Oswald. We'll start out with the funeral of the 35th President of the United States, John Fitzgerald Kennedy. A full state funeral. The presidents are entitled to that. Some presidents have not had full state funerals after their passing. FDR, when he died in 1945, they were still fighting World War II. It was considered to have a state funeral in poor taste. Harry Truman wanted a simple funeral. Others as well. JFK had a full state funeral. The autopsy on Friday night. Then his body was laid in state in the East Room of the White House, and then laid in state in the rotunda of the Capitol as thousands and thousands of people walked by. That happened until 9 a.m. on Monday, the 25th of November. The funeral procession traveled from the Capitol to the White House. They had a brief ceremony there, and the procession walked to St. Matthew's Cathedral for the High Catholic funeral mass. There was no formal eulogy given. By the way, the procession resumed to Arlington National Cemetery for burial. They estimated about 3 million people lined the streets of Washington, D.C. for the funeral, and they estimate hundreds and hundreds of millions of people all over the world actually watched the funeral on television. It was simulcast on ABC, NBC, And CBS, the 35th President of the United States, laid to rest after the lighting of the eternal flame. It happened on this date, November 25th, 1963. There's the 21-gun salute. That was JFK's funeral, happened on this date in 1963. Also on this date in 1963, Officer J.D. Tippit was laid to rest. The services were held at the Buckley Hills Baptist Church, the burial following at Laurel Land Memorial Park in Dallas, Texas. Over 700 police officers attended the funeral. J.D. Tippit left his widow there, as you see, and 3 young children, ages 10, 6, and 4. In January of 1964, J.D. Tippit was posthumously awarded the Medal of Valor from the American Police Hall of Fame. He also received the Police Medal of Honor, the Police Cross, and the Citizens Traffic Commission Award of Heroism. He was only 39 years old when Lee Harvey Oswald shot him to death on the afternoon of Friday, November 22nd, 1963. His family received nearly $650,000 in donations from just average Americans from all over the country and really all over the world. J.D. Tippit, who was shot to death by Lee Harvey Oswald, also buried on Monday, November 25th, 1963. And then there's Lee Harvey Oswald, who was buried on Monday, November 25th, 1963, the day after he was killed by Jack Ruby. He was buried at the Shannon Rose Hill Memorial Burial Park in Fort Worth, Texas. The location and time of the funeral was supposed to be kept secret, but local reporters found out. About 30 or so reporters were there. 6 of the reporters were asked to be pallbearers because there wasn't any. So you see those gentlemen there carrying Lee Harvey Oswald's coffin. They're actually reporters with their press credentials because there weren't any pallbearers. The only mourners who attended the funeral, Lee Harvey Oswald's wife, his 2 young children, his mother, and his brother. They were the only people who came to the funeral to mourn the loss of Lee Harvey Oswald. The Lutheran ministers who were supposed to officiate didn't show up. But at the last minute, a replacement was found. His original grave marker, by the way, was stolen just a couple of weeks after the burial of Lee Harvey Oswald. JFK, J.D. Tippit, Lee Harvey Oswald, buried within hours of each other, Monday, November 25th, 1963. Let's do some birthdays. One of the richest men in American history who invented the idea of giving it all away, Andrew Carnegie. He was Scottish-born, emigrated to this country when he was a kid. He led the expansion of the American steel industry to the point where he became one of the richest Americans of all time. Andrew Carnegie, during the last 18 years of his life, he was determined to give away everything that he possibly could. So he gave away $350 million. It doesn't sound like very much, but in today's money, that's $65 billion. And he just gave it away. Charities, foundations, universities, Carnegie libraries, and Carnegie buildings all over this country, hundreds and hundreds of them. We have a building that was paid for out of the back pocket of Andrew Carnegie right here in the Wenatchee Valley. It's the headquarters of the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival, that historic building that you drive by on Chelan Street and Douglas Street. That's a building that was built by Andrew Carnegie. He gave away 90% of his wealth. He wrote an article in the late 1800s entitled The Gospel of Wealth, and he called on everybody who was really rich to give their money away to make society a better place. Andrew Carnegie. And he lived a long time, died in 1919 at the age of 83. One of those rare athletes who transcend sports. Babe Ruth, Muhammad Ali comes immediately to mind. There's a few others. Joe DiMaggio is one of those. He was born in the state in 1914, passed away in 1999 at the age of 84. His 56-game hitting streak in 1941 still stands, may never be broken. Voted baseball's greatest living player during baseball's centennial in 1969. Not just a great baseball player, but an American icon. Joe DiMaggio, born in the state in 1914. And ironically enough, John F. Kennedy, dad, was buried on John F. Kennedy Jr.'s 3rd birthday. JFK Jr. was born in the state in 1960. He was a lawyer by trade, also, of course, was a journalist. He had his own magazine called George. Passed away when the plane he was piloting crashed into Long Island Sound at the age of 38. He was the first child ever born to a president-elect. He was born 2 weeks after his father, Jack, was elected president of the United States. 35 minutes after the hour, going to take a break. When we come back, it's a brand new Mike Magnotti opinion. You've never seen it. Hopefully you'll like it. Hopefully it'll make you think. And then my conversation with Arch Ecker and David Rayfield. We're talking Wild hockey. It's a rare Monday night game tonight. Prince George is in town. Wild hockey coming up as well. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Oh, I can't forget about Campbell's. Thank you, Megan. Campbell's, yes, the destination deal. It's in its last week. They do it in March and they do it in November. And if my calendar doesn't lie to me, the last day of November is Saturday. So get on it. If you are a local, you can get a room for just $95 a night. They start at just $95 a night for locals only. That's us. So you can avoid the crowds and the tourists and all that crazy stuff that happens in Chelan between May and September. And you get up there now where it's nice and quiet and peaceful, and you can enjoy some gourmet food and some nice wine and get away from the crowds. Lake Chelan's a great place to visit any time of the year. Take advantage of it. The locals discount for the month of November. All you got to do is give Campbell's a call and prove to them you're local, and you're in. All right, McNaughty and Wenatchee Wild Hockey coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
So Pam, how's your mom doing?
She's okay. She's struggling. She'd like to stay in her house, and it's getting harder for her to do the daily chores.
What kinds of problems is she having?
Just basic house cleaning, taking care of her house, yard work, taking care of her medicine.
Mm-hmm. It does sound exhausting.
It is very exhausting, and I always worry about her.
Aging and Adult Care can assist you or your loved one to remain comfortably and safely in their own home. Contact them today to start the conversation.
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills. A chill is in the air and it's a perfect time for some old-fashioned comfort food like our amazing Eggs Benedict, chicken fried steak, French dips, soups made from scratch, or fruit pies fresh from the oven. The crowds might be gone, but we're still here for you folks, so bring an appetite and a friend to Blueberry Hills in Manson, where you pick, you sit, you eat, and you visit. Open Wednesday through Sunday from 8 to 3. wildaboutberries.com.
Arctic Refrigeration and Heating has been serving North Central Washington for 34 years. Arctic provides the finest heating and cooling air quality products for residential and commercial customers, along with prompt and professional customer service. Arctic also offers specialty services like custom sheet metal fabrication of ductwork, coil cleaning, as well as planned fall and spring maintenance for the overall well-being of your system. Arctic is available for emergency calls 24/7. Call Arctic Refrigeration and Heating for your heating and cooling needs.
Travel enhances your life in every way. Let the travel professionals at Journey Travel and Tours help you plan that dream vacation. Don't leave the important details to those nameless, faceless online agencies. At Journey Travel and Tours, our goal is to build relationships that last a lifetime. And when you do need help, we have a 24-hour helpline that is routed to one of the agents in our office. When you think travel, think Journey Travel and Tours. It's where your journey begins. Like us on Facebook, and you could be one of our monthly winners.
Come find your holiday gifts at Antique Mall at Cashmere this holiday season. With 15,000 square feet to explore, Antique Mall at Cashmere has something for everyone, from coin enthusiasts to avid collectors. For do-it-yourselfers, this is the place to find your next repurposing project. What a great way to make your holiday gifts for someone special. Using your keen eye to make something old and new again. Discover your next holiday gift in the Antique Mall at Cashmere. Stop on by today.
Hey, this is Mike, Mad Dog McNaughty, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, you know, this Greta Thunberg, whatever, that young Swedish environmentalist activist who recently scolded the members of the UN, some folks have been criticizing and making fun of her. Now, supposedly she's young and she doesn't know anything, that kind of thing. Well, as it is, and always has been, it's the job of young people to tell us old people where we've screwed up and where we could have done better. Now, just like we did when we were younger. The hope is that every upcoming generation will do a better job than we did. But the problem is, though, each generation, while improving on some things, they make their own mistakes. Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and everybody's entitled to my opinion.
North Central Washington, serving youth ages 3 to 18. Register today in one of Campfire's programs. Club members meet regularly with volunteer leaders to learn responsibility, sharing, cooperation, and citizenship. When a child is involved in Campfire, they will be actively learning and engaged in activities, encouraged to learn new skills, feel a part of the group, learn to work in a team setting, participate in planning, goal setting, and making lasting memories.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
At Harvest Valley Pest Control, we know you are committed to making your home and business a healthy and pest-free place. Hi, I'm David. Give us a call and we'll give you a firm price over the phone and schedule a time that works for you. We'll do an in-depth 30-point healthy home or business inspection and craft a customized plan of action designed specifically for your pest issue. Give us a call or visit our website today.
Are the rumors true, Corey?
Yes, and you're going to love what we're doing at Sangster Buick GMC. We're just $49 down delivered. Wenatchee Valley, winter is coming and we have your solution. Just $49 down and you're driving the vehicle of your dreams. All-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, new or used, virtually any make and model. GMC, Buick, Subaru, Honda, and much more. Yes, the rumors are true. Just $49 down delivered. Choose your vehicle. Compare price, service, and selection. Sangster Buick GMC. SangsterMotors.com. Where caring about your family brings you back to ours.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Once again, whenever the Wenatchee Wild have an upcoming homestand, and by golly they do, we take some time out to come down here to the Town Toyota Center, best rink in the league. Thank you very much to talk about Wild hockey. Nanaimo is in town for a rare Monday night matchup, and then they have a couple of games over the weekend. You know my guy to my immediate left, he's making his very first appearance on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, the broadcasting voice of the Wenatchee Wild, Arch Ecker, and David Rayfield is Arch's kind of cubicle mate, office mate, David?
Dojo.
Is that what you call him?
Yeah, we share a small corner.
Arch has a real job title. David's, of course, is made up because he had to call himself something. We'll talk promotions with David. There's a lot going on for this Thanksgiving week.
His mom's so proud, though.
Yeah, I bet she is.
That business card is just wonderful, wonderful.
We'll talk some of the promotions for this Thanksgiving week with David in just a couple of minutes, but we'll talk hockey first with Arch. Team's been kind of stuck at this 500 mark for seems like since the season began. We're waiting for that big bust out, that 3 or 4 game streak. They had a couple of good games a few weekends back, but they lost in overtime to Salmon Arm, lost to Penticton. Nothing wrong with that. You still get points for overtime losses, but this team is due to bust out, isn't it?
Well, you'd like to think so, but again, it's maybe worth noting we've been pretty spoiled around here.
Yeah.
I mean, the Wenatchee Wild has been such a successful program for so long, and then we get the cup a couple of years ago, and we've just been so dominant, and people kind of become conditioned to expecting that. And I guess the realistic nature of sports in general and the developmental level of hockey, there may be some cyclical nature to it, and some teams are going to go through maybe a bit of a rebuilding or reloading process. And sometimes it takes a little longer, and we've got a little bit younger team this year than we've had in the past. So, you don't necessarily come out like gangbusters, but it's all about development. And we believe in the core of players that we've got here, and we believe in where they're going. And so, the fact whether we're winning or losing at this time of the year, I mean, obviously you want to win every time you hit the ice. But, as long as we're improving and getting better week to week, that's the goal. Because when you get to the end, you want to be playing your best hockey at that point. And I think this group is trending in that direction. Some of the games we've had here recently are market improvements over where they were, 4-6 weeks ago, and even beyond that. So I think there's every reason to feel good about where we are, despite the fact that, you're at 500. But, if you're a student of the game or a connoisseur of the game, you can clearly see that these guys are going in the right direction.
Scores are telling me the scores of the games, either victories or losses or overtime losses, they're telling me that defensively this team is doing pretty well. The opposition has not been lighting up the net much.
Well, one of the things that there's really two specific qualities that the Wenatchee Wild have always embodied. One is we love to be offensive. We love to, we have a hashtag make plays, and we like to encourage players to develop and enjoy the creativity that goes along with that and to utilize their skills. But on the other end, we talk about being responsible defensively and everyone buying into blocking shots and doing whatever it takes to try to limit opportunities for the other team. And this team has really, like those others before it, have really embraced that concept. And so, they've done a pretty good job of, keeping that down. And in addition to that, the fact that we were able to bring in, we got Daniel Chenard here, who is 2 years ago RBC Cup champion with the Chilliwack Chiefs. I mean, he's playing lights out. He was hurt for a little bit. Noah Altman's been doing a good job. He had to fill in for 8 straight games while Chenard was on the mend. And the two of them have just done really a magnificent job. So strong goaltending, a belief in our defensive systems, those are a couple of things that have really helped along the way.
This team has been playing a lot of hockey, coming off 3 games in 3 days, all on the road. Of course, it's a long bus trip for Wenatchee. We're pretty much the outpost of the league, with all due respect to our friends way up north. How's the health of the team? You mentioned injuries. How are we doing health-wise?
Well, everybody's a little bumped and bruised along the way, and and it's like anything else. You can sit there and you can have a hangnail and say, golly, I got this. But, across the board, knock on wood, I think we're doing mostly okay. We're still missing Luke Ormsby, who we acquired along the way this season, and then he got injured, and he may be out until maybe after the holiday break possibly, and he's considered by the coaches to be a number 1 center, so that's a tough loss, but you know what, he's on the mend and he'll be working his way back, and for the most part we've been able to avoid any serious setbacks other than that.
David, first of all, it's good to see you again. And second of all, as we all know, everybody in the BCHL wants to play at home on Friday and Saturday nights. It doesn't work that way. It's impossible. Everybody has the same amount of home games. Everybody has the same amount of away games. And when the schedule was set back in the summer, here we are on the 25th day of November. We got a home game. We have a Monday night game here at the Town Toyota Center. It's a quirk in the schedule, but it is what it is. But we're going to make the best of it, aren't we?
Yeah, something we roll with. It's a little different than Wednesdays. People are still trying to figure out their weekend after the weekend. So, yeah, we're just going to do what we usually do, $1 beer, $1 hot dogs, and hope
but
the
that's not how we say it, though.
You can go ahead and sing it.
It's buck of beer and $1 dogs, doo-dah, doo-dah. And I think you said in the opening intro that it's in the NYMO, but it's actually Prince George.
I'm sorry, Prince George. That's my bad.
Yeah, that's okay.
And then
still love you, man.
I understand that. And then the guys get a little bit of a break for Thanksgiving, and then the Friday and Saturday following Thanksgiving, back-to-back games. You got promotions both nights. So talk about Friday and
2 big nights coming up. Kind of a joint sponsorship with Works and Les Schwab as we kick off our toy drive. So that'll basically be the whole theme of the weekend, is giving back to the community, as we like to do a lot here with the Wenatchee Wild and our sponsors. But with Works and Les Schwab, we're going to be doing a toy drive for all ages. So stop by your local shops, whether anywhere basically, and bring a toy, whether it's Legos, skateboards, bikes, basketballs, footballs, whatever you can donate, we'd love to have, and we'll be accepting those at the front. And we'll be doing on Friday night, we're doing our 3rd Town Toyota car shootout. So that'll be a qualifying round. The final shot will take place the last game of the season. So we'll be running that qualifier, and basically a lot of toys being donated. So we're hoping to kick off this holiday season with a bang, and
all the usual favorites, of course. And by the way, I have to tell you, from a visual standpoint, Pink at the Rink with the Chuck-a-Puck with the pink pucks, I got a kick out of that. I don't know whose idea that was. It must have been a lot of work to paint those pucks pink.
Well, we bought those pucks. Okay. It's a nice little touch for one game a year. Yeah. And then I got to go and store those somewhere special until next year's Pink in the Rink. But, that was a great night. We've had some great promotions, and we're hitting the holiday stride, so things are just going to get better. Attendance is going to get better. We're real excited to have a lot of big groups in to celebrate that time of year with us. Mm-hmm. So we appreciate the fans coming out.
And I'm glad you mentioned Works, because they're an important part of the Wild family. These guys have to stay in shape. They have to nurse injuries, as Arch mentioned, and Works is where they go, isn't it?
Yeah. Strength training, the little everything they need, they take care of there. So they're good to us and keep our boys fit.
Yeah, and hats off to Aaron Branham over there for the work that he does to help the guys with their strength training.
Yeah, I suppose all the guys have a different sort of a workout routine depending on what they're working on. Is that I'm just throwing that out there. I'm spitballing. Art, you work out every day. You can
They don't let us go.
Clearly. Well, there's a nice regimen that they've got that's time tested and well proven. I mean, cycling, and the spin deal, they do that quite a bit, obviously for cardio plus the help with the legs and upper body strength. I mean, there's just a routine that they go through that is obviously proven to be fairly effective.
So once again, I want to recap Prince George tonight, Monday the 25th, Nanaimo, the Clippers on the 29th, and then Langley on the 30th, and that's the holiday toy drive courtesy of our friends at Les Schwab, who's the main sponsor of this, and they don't have to do it, but they do it. That's the kind of people that they are.
Speaking of toys, you talked about all the different kind of toys that could be donated. And it seems like a year ago, the hot toy was those spinners. Everybody had the spinners, right? Yeah, I haven't seen them so much anymore. Did you ever get into that? Was that?
No. It was, I did.
Did you make them work? I mean, I'm not very good at it.
It's one of those things where I really liked it, so I put it away because I figured I was going to develop a problem here.
What
I
about
spent
you?
all
Do you
day
have a
spinning
spinner?
with it.
I did not.
Not a spinner guy?
No, sir, no.
The Infinity Cube is a new hot toy. Have you seen this?
No.
It's just Google Infinity Cube.
How long does it last?
I don't. Well,
Infinity.
Yeah, Infinity. It's
That was a
it's the
softball.
hot
I
toy.
wanted to see what he did with
Set
it.
that one up for him.
And
Team player.
Dovetailing with what David said, if you're just not sure, you can always go to Hooked on Toys or any place and just buy a gift certificate or drop off cash. You go, I don't have kids, I don't know what they want, but every kid should have a bunch of new unwrapped toys under the tree for Christmas. And
yeah, certainly. It's all local here, so it's a great fundraiser as a lot of people in need in our personal community here in the Wenatchee Valley get served through this. So it's a great thing Les Schwab and Works and other participants are doing, and we really appreciate it and love being part of it.
Those two companies taking the lead on that kind of thing. I mean, it takes a lot of time, and people don't really often respect that. I think that, Les Schwab, whatever, yeah, those guys do. But you know what? I mean, they're running their whole business, and they take a lot of man hours to facilitate, orchestrate, and drive these kind of things to help make them a success in our communities. And so they definitely deserve a little pat on the back.
as does Hooked on Toys. Now, granted, of course, it's the holiday season, but Hooked on Toys gives away tons of toys. They just give them away. They don't have to do that either.
As it turns out.
Yeah. We'll wrap up where we began with some hockey talk, Arch. Monday game, they get a little bit of a break. Then they got games Friday and Saturday. Do they have any kind of holiday break? Are the guys going to be able to go home and see family and chill out before they start getting into the stretch run come December and January?
Yeah, as it turns out, the pre-Christmas part of the schedule runs a little bit late for us this year. We're going to play all the way up through the 20th and 21st. But we don't have to play again. The guys will get to go home the next day on the 22nd, and they won't have to be – they'll probably report back around the 31st or so because the first game back is January 3rd against Victoria, and that'll be right here. But the guys will be able to have a reasonable break to go home. And you know what? They've been here since August.
Yeah.
And by the time that holiday break comes around, it's not just needed. I mean, it's appreciated. And for the guys, they're ready to go home, ready to sleep in their own bed for a couple nights,
They need the
have mom's
physical
cooking.
break. They need the mental break. They just need to step away from hockey just a little bit. Nothing wrong with that. It's a long, as you said, it's a long, drawn-out season. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And the timing is perfect to get the guys out of here and just get them physically rested and mentally rested.
Yeah, I mean, these are guys that are 17 to 20 years old, and, as committed as they are to their game and their craft and their careers, you know what? They're human beings.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just got to exhale a little bit. Yeah. And that break tends to usually come at a really good time.
Once again, tonight, David, it's you want to do the song, Arch, for Monday
Buck
night?
of beer and dollar dogs, doo-dah. See, it's
Doo-dah.
Rolling Rock beers, Pepsi products, and hot dogs. They're just $1 each from the time the doors open, which is actually at 5 o'clock because it's a 6 o'clock game tonight. Yep. And all the way through the first intermission. So it's a heck of a deal. Season ticket members get in 15 minutes earlier than that.
Okay.
So they can really load up their pockets with them dollar dogs. Doo-dah. Yeah, you got it.
David, how do you put up with this guy? I mean,
he goes on the road quite a bit.
that probably helps, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That probably
yeah,
helps.
it sure does.
And for any existing sponsorship opportunities, or if you want to be a part of the Wild sponsorship family, David's the guy to call. 888-PUCK. Ask for David Rayfield. He'll answer the phone most of the time.
Yeah,
Arch.
Except for when he doesn't.
Except for when he doesn't. Arch, it's always good to see you, my friend.
And you as well. Always.
Let's
Thank
go Wild anytime, my friend. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Let Fitterers Furniture help you turn your dreams into reality with their exciting selection of quality furnishing and accessories. Whatever style you are looking for, you will find beautifully crafted furniture of exceptional value and the unmatched Fitterers customer service to make this shopping experience one you will keep coming back to. Make a point of visiting Fitterers Furniture in downtown Ellensburg.
Quality selection and service since 1896.
At some point, we realized that value and practicality go hand in hand. A time when an unnoticed accumulation of items has become burdensome. These possessions still have value, but now lack usefulness. Donate your unwanted items to Goodwill and become a job creator. Your donations allow Goodwill to provide much-needed training to job seekers in our community, and that's pretty useful for everyone. Be a job creator. Donate. Goodwill. There's more behind the store.
My awesome is being part of the Nez Perce tribe. We have a tourism company and we highlight the history and culture of the Nez Perce people. I found Washington Trust Bank because they were very involved in the community. They believed in me. They definitely saw the need for this in our region. All the folks at Washington Trust Bank are phenomenal. They've done such a wonderful job helping me along my journey.
What's your awesome? Whatever it is, we'll help you get there.
And we're back live here in Studio 5. Let's wrap up this program where we began this program with the weather forecast, and things are going to get pretty interesting. First of all, your winds on Wednesday. Take a look at the arrows. That's the direction we're expecting the wind to come from. And these are wind gusts, not sustained winds, just wind gusts. So it's going to be very, very windy at times, especially out in the Columbia Basin. If you're heading over to Spokane, to Lilac City for Thanksgiving, and if you drive a high-profile rig, you're going to get buffered around quite a bit. So I wanted to point that one out first. Then we'll let you know why it's going to happen. We're going to take you to 4 a.m. tomorrow morning. Take a look at this at the graphic we have for you there. See that little red L, that trough of low pressure? It's going to get real strong, and it's going to move into the Pacific Northwest in just that short 12-hour period from 4 a.m. Tuesday to 4 p.m. Tuesday. Look at the big change here. It's coming. Trust me. It's coming. There it is. And that's what we're looking at by 4 o'clock Tuesday. The center of that low pressure trough will be right there, and that's going to tighten up the gradients, and that's what we're going to have winds. We're going to have winds on Tuesday, and then by the time we get to 4 a.m. on Wednesday, very windy conditions as the gradients really tighten up, and it's going to usher in a whole bunch of really cold air. We are looking at about a 50% chance of very light snow, by the way, on Tuesday night. About a 40% chance of snow on Wednesday, and about a 30% chance of snow on Wednesday night. But none of these snow events are really much of anything. All said and done, between Tuesday night, Wednesday, and Wednesday night, maybe an inch of snow, and that's really about it. That's all we're going to see from our friends at Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Take a look at it. And then after that, after we get past Thanksgiving Day, really cold. So today, not a lot to talk about. Partly sunny, about 42. Partly cloudy tonight. Tuesday is the transition day. Clouds thickening up. We'll get up to only about 35. Start talking about a chance of snow Tuesday night. Light snow, very windy Wednesday. Light snow, very windy Wednesday night. Thanksgiving Day, quiet. Gobble, 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 gobble. And then it gets cold. The cold air that's coming down in from Canada is going to get trapped on the surface of the Wenatchee Valley. No place for it to go. Be prepared. It's going to be a crazy weather week. Have yourself a great Monday. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.